Good morning. My name is Angelyn Nicholson. I am here in my home for our daily practice experience. Today is April the 10th, 2020. And so I wanted to talk this morning about how to do a meditation with a rock. A lot of people are interested in rocks and crystals, and they're beautiful. Why wouldn't you? It was really one of the first place that I went as a recovering person from religion. I had a really bad experience with religion as a younger person, and 100% distrusted anybody that was associated with religion, organized religion, and moved into a more atheist experience and belief system, which is to say science prevailed, and there was really not that much you could convince me of, except that I really did, I do and did really love the whole cosmos. Back during that time, you couldn't get me to say that there was a God, but you could get me to say that the cosmos were the most incredible thing, and I could talk about that for days. So I guess I always had a little bit of the really far out stuff in me, but I easily transitioned into rocks, even though I 100% judged people who were into rocks prior to. And I had this very specific idea that people who were into rocks were just a very specific kind of person, and I didn't want to be that kind of person. But here's what happened. I began to understand frequencies, and I began to understand that when I said the word happy, like I feel happy, that I could feel that. I could feel that like in the upper parts of my body. And when I said ugly or sad or jealous or something like that, I could feel that in my belly. And I understood that they carried different vibrations. And I understood just from being a therapist that whatever it was, whatever vibration you held on to, really played a really big role in the way you felt. So I could get on board with that. Then when I started reading about rocks, I was like, so really a rock is just a physical representation of a specific frequency or vibration at a specific time in a specific place, based on all of the elements that were around it. So based on the amount of sunshine or rain or the temperature or the landscape or whatever, the animals that lived there at the time, you had different rocks as a result. And that those rocks held within it the frequency of, they were different based on different things. That all made sense to me. That was something that I could get on board with. And so that was really the place I started, was, okay, well, I guess I'm going to just go for it. And I got this really big piece of fluorite, and I was hooked, like, immediately. I loved that thing. I still love it. It's in my office. It was gorgeous. And when you were close to it, you felt something from it. That's all I knew. I'm gonna get my dog a bone. Just one second. I'm gonna get her a little treat. Okay. So I have 5 rocks actually, here with me right now, just to sort of give people an idea about some differences, and show you, teach you, explain to you how to meditate with one, or how to, have an experience with one. When I first started exploring rocks, one of the things I noticed right away was that they felt different to me, and I couldn't really explain why, or even say that much about it except that I could feel tingles or movement in different parts of my body. Okay, so I brought different rocks here and wanted to explain different things that you can do with them. So some people, when they hold a rock, they see memories from their own life. Like there's something in the frequency of the rock that activates a memory from their own life. I do not understand it, but it happens. There are also people that pick up a rock and they can see stories that the rock has seen before. That's really cool too. Some people hear the rock speaking to them. Like I said at the beginning, I only felt like tinglies and things like that. Now I consider myself pretty experienced with rocks at this point. Now I can feel different chakras engaging. I can feel lots of different things. One of the things that I have grown to notice or acknowledge is that some of them really, really like me, and some of them just think I'm okay, but some of them really, really like me. And those guys, that's been a really interesting experience. The truth is that they're living just like plants, just like trees, just like we are. And that's why some people can hear their vibration or pick up on their vibration or see things. So I think that's all very interesting. I have a few specimens that I was just going to show you because they don't have to be these magnificent. I have some magnificent pieces, but they can just be very, very small. This is a pink opal. It's really soft, and I use it often when I'm treating people on their heart. When you hold it, it feels very soft, like a hug, or like when you're feeling something that's uncomfortable and you just sort of want to feel a little bit better. It's nice. I can see where a very large piece of this would really, really be something. This is apatite. When I use this for people, it's often here. Sometimes it's on lower parts of their body, depending on what they need. There's been different times in my life where apatite has really called to me. Sometimes I want to use it all the time, and other times I kind of forget that I have it. It's not like that with other rocks. This is just sort of how it is with this rock. Also, when I bought this rock, I felt very uncomfortable with the idea of just buying one. So I bought two. Whenever I would just pick up the one, it just felt like I was doing something wrong. And that's an intuitive hit. I encourage you to start noticing those if you haven't already, and listen to them. And I don't know why I needed to buy two, but I did. So I did. This is calcite. It is orange calcite. This one is one of the few rocks that I feel like I can hear. To me, this rock feels very young and gleeful. There's a lot of glee and happiness, a lot of movement, like, let's get this show on the road. This I often use on people just below their rib cage, on their solar plexus chakra, to get things moving around. It's glassy. It's very, very slick, and the way that it feels is really, really pleasing, I think, to people who like texture stuff. This is raw azurite. Isn't that beautiful? Really, really, really pretty. That's dark blue. It's got these really intense sort of, it looks like powder kind of on the rock, but you can feel definitely when you hold the rock, you can feel it. It's lovely. So in any case, to meditate with a rock, or to see if the rock has anything to say to you, or to see what you feel with rocks. So some people get frustrated when I'm like, here, hold this and see what you feel. And they're like, man, I don't really feel anything. Well, you may not. Sometimes things call to us, and sometimes they don't. But there might be a day that this pink opal, I can feel nothing, and then there might be a day when it makes me feel exactly the way that I want to feel. You just sort of have to listen to, maybe you have 4 or 5 and you're sort of starting out and they're all about this size. Well, okay, pick one up and see which one feels the way you want it to feel that day. Or just trust that if you're thinking to yourself, I just need that orange calcite by me, or I need that green apatite by me today, just do it. We as humans will adjust our frequency to that which is around us, which is part of why I use them in session, because our bodies innately want to try to accommodate the vibration around us. That is why empaths have difficulty going out in public, because if there are a lot of people who aren't feeling well, or their vibration is angry or sad or whatever, greedy, any of those things, we will try to accommodate to them sometimes, or we'll try to pick up and we'll feel ourselves being pulled to that. It's the same with the rocks. It's the same with, that's why getting out in nature feels good, because trees and grass and natural beauty areas hold such an incredible vibration of cleansing and love, really. So I invite you to, if you don't have any rocks yet, maybe you want to look around online or just sort of notice some that are very common. Clear quartz is often very common. You see that around. Clear quartz can pick up, one of the things that's unusual about it and really great about it is that it holds, you can program them. So you can put emotion in them, you can put things in them. But notice too that when you buy them, they pick up on other people. So you need to clear, always you need to clear rocks. How do I clear rocks? Okay, you can sit them in a plate of salt. Some things you can put in salt water. Lots of people will put their rocks out underneath the full moon. Sometimes, especially if I'm kind of in a rush, or I don't really have the ability to do something big like that, I imagine pure white light that just sort of goes and like explodes out of it, thereby cleansing it. Of course, the intention that I hold is that it is being cleansed. So I invite you to find something. Some people have rock countertops. Sometimes you can put your hands on those and get grounded. Sometimes people have, I have a mortar and pestle that is, I believe, marble. I mean, that could work. There are lots of things that we already use that have these crystals in them. But keep your eyes open. There are a lot of places that you can get things now. But look around in your town and see what you got. Here in Knoxville, I like Stones of Spirit. It's on Bearden Hill. Obviously, they're closed right now, but the knowledge and the variety and the unusual specimens, I feel like, are just very, very worth getting there, and just seeing what you like. So I like to take a rock and put it in my hands and sit and close my eyes and just center my breath, focus on my breath. And maybe you just set the timer for 5 minutes, but you sit there and you hold the rock with the only intention being to just feel the frequency of the rock. Close off everything else, noises, try to focus, turn off the TV, turn off the music, turn off your phone, things like that. And just sit there and focus on your breath and notice. And just see what comes up. Whatever and this is the trickiest part, whatever comes in is probably attached to the vibration your body's in that moment. I always tell people to pay attention to what comes in because it's all important when I'm giving them a treatment. So for example, if you come in and you're feeling rotten, there's a process of you going from rotten vibration to feeling better, feeling better, feeling better, feeling better. And in each vibration that you hit on the way, there will be thoughts and memories and ideas and things that come in. And in particular, if you set an intention, and I always have my clients set intentions before we get started, and then we state the intention at the beginning, like I want to release things that I don't need anymore, or I want to find gratitude, or whatever. That really does matter a lot. Oh, my little boy's sitting here. You all right? It really does matter a lot because your mind will do what you guide it to do. Can you stop doing that, honey? So in any case, I invite you to sit with a rock and close your eyes and allow yourself, be open to your body finding the vibration that the rock is in. And I invite you to sit there and feel that as long as it feels good, as long as you can hold that. It doesn't matter if your thoughts go to other things. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what comes in. Just notice it. Just notice it. And then notice the way you feel when you're done. And write the stuff down. And when I say write the stuff down, I mean write it down with a pen onto paper. And the reason is because that is one of the few ways that we can acknowledge our mind all the way to our hand. Like it's the emotional, the mental that becomes physical. And so we are engaging our body, mind, and spirit all at the same time when we're writing things down. So I encourage people to write down any thoughts they have as you sit there with the rock. You can take as little time as you want or as much time as you want. Thank you so much. If you made it all the way through this, thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a terrific morning. And I will see you tomorrow with the next thing. Angelyn Nicholson, www.colorofkismet.com.